She fucked up my life, just like she said she wouldn't. 5 years ago when I was 22, I met this 25-year-old girl at a party. We hit it off, and started getting closer and more familiar with each other. Soon after we started dating, she started telling me about trauma she had with her ex. The trust issues, the self-esteem issues, and the hurt that she had gone through because of his lying, cheating, and abuse. Throughout all of it, I listened, supported, and was patient as she navigated through her own journey of healing. In that time, she told me that I was crucial to her finding a way to love again, and to feel whole again. When things between us started to get serious, she told me her biggest fear was that she would hurt me in the same way that he hurt her, and be the reason that I end up with trauma and the issues that come with. She told me about the little voice in her head that picked up on all his red flags, but that she had ignored that voice for years. It's only been recently that I realized the same thing. There has been this quiet voice inside me all along raising alarm bells, but I hushed it out of naivety. We spent 5 years together. I became a co-parent to 2 cats and 1 dog, and loved them as if I had known them my whole life. Our relationship started by building a bubble of our own little world to live in, and no matter where we went, that bubble stayed intact and was reprieve from everything else in the world. Our little family was the safest place on earth. Everywhere we went, we turned any 4 walls into a home for ourselves. Being so young, life was not stable, and we were not rich. She had gone through 3 jobs in 4 years, had medical treatments, invested a lot into making. I kept a stable, high-paying job, but couldn't afford much after student loans, hospital bills, and food came into the picture. With so much debt, we were forced to stay fairly stagnant for years. The excitement and passion we had at the beginning started to fade, and she grew tired of the day-to-day routines that we had fallen into. I recognized the stagnation, but embraced the fact that even though our romance was not the high-octane version it once was, our love showed up in those mundane activities, like taking care of the pets together, by going through life's hard times together, and having somebody unconditionally next to you through it all. In the stubborn routine of things, she had tried new hobbies to get into: candle making, Pilates, binge-watching shows, reading, but the one that stuck was boxing. She had always struggled to stick with a specific workout regimen, but as soon as she started boxing, she loved it and the people that were in her classes. One guy in particular, who was in his early 20s, really hit it off with her, and soon she started telling me they were spending time together outside of class. She had gone over to his house late at night to try braiding his hair, they had gone paddleboarding together, and had plans to spend more time together one-on-one. I warned her that it might not be good because proximity like that breeds feelings, and it's very common for the guys she hangs out with to eventually start to get feelings for her. So, to no surprise, she came home one day devastated because he had actually told her they couldn't be friends, because he developing feelings for her. Throughout our whole relationship, I thought she was crazy about me, and she had always talked about men with such disdain. I was arrogant in the fact that I had nothing but trust with her. She had confided in me about issues related to having friends. She worked from home, and often would get depressed due to the isolation and lack of companionship outside of our relationship. I had only ever wanted her to be happy, so I saw this new companion as nothing but a new friend who made her happy. Ironically, when she started boxing, she had told me she was entering her single girl era, where she would focus on her self-growth and journey as if she was newly single, but not actually be single. This was said in jest at the time, and I understood what she meant, but in looking back, that little voice warned me about all that was happening, but I just ignored it. A few months after she started this boxing class, her remote job had made an announcement that all remote employees were being forced to return to the office. As a couple struggling financially, moving to a HCOL area was scary. The town we were in was small, safe, had people we knew and trusted, and we could get by month to month. I had started getting really close with a group of guys in town, and said I was sad to leave them, but that my #1 priority in life was her and the pets. So although I wasn't enthused about moving, I was willing to go with her so that we could keep our little world together once more. Not long after, she decided she didn't want that. She wanted to call it quits, and leave me in the small town so she could go to the city and be alone. I wasn't angry, because I understood the value of being alone and how people are able to learn and grow differently compared to when they're in a relationship living with someone. However, after making my case why we should stay together, and what the alternatives might be, she changed her tune, and said that the breakup was because of my inability to take action and make things exciting again. She expressed a few times that she had wanted to go back to that initial spark and excitement from the beginning of our relationship, but over time I had not taken any action, and that I had boxed her in and put pressure on her to be somebody she wasn't. Truthfully, I'm really not sure what she meant by me applying pressure to her. I agreed that we had become stale, but what couple doesn't get a little less exciting after so long together? Throughout all of the changes she wanted, I had always offered her space and or support to make that happen. Only a week after the breakup, I had flown out of town to go to doctor's appointments for my dad, who was being seen for his dementia. We were still living together at the time, but this was the first instance where I wasn't around. We had only been broken up a week, but I saw that she had already deleted all pictures of me off her social media. Even for trips that we went on together, that I paid for, she only kept the pictures of her. While I was out of town, she had messaged people in my friend group and asked them out to drinks. I found out through mutual friends, and confronted her about it, saying that it hurt my feelings and was wrong to do. She downplayed it, saying that she thought it would be funny and it was only drinks, so it wasn't a big deal. She apologized for the optics of it. She also said that immediately after the breakup, her self-esteem issues and insecurities had all disappeared and she felt incredible about herself. She wasn't sure why, but for some reason once I wasn't in the picture, all her internal dilemmas have been resolved. After that confrontation, I moved out the same night, finding the only apartment I could on such short notice. The next day I moved out, and took 3 hours to get my entire livelihood out of our apartment. In the chaos of moving so quickly, there was a little bit of a mess. She yelled at me for leaving such a mess, because she assumed I was going to force her to clean it up. I apologized, cleaned everything, thanked her for the time we had, and left. We had one open item left for discussion, and that was the pets. She resolved that open item by telling me she talked to an online pet medium, and the pets had all communicated that they wanted to stay with her. In the few months since the breakup, I've seen through various means that she has completely gone for the superficial journey. She has been posting on social media significantly more, has gotten lip filler and other self-enhancements. I've been told that she has been going out a lot, and spent considerable time with the guy from boxing who I was told not to worry about. In a far-off reality, I think this breakup could have been amicable. I would never be upset at someone for pursuing a shot at incredible self-growth. However, instead of it being a peaceful separation, she burnt everything we had built, and showed zero empathy for somebody who used to be her life partner. That's how we got to where we are today. A few months ago I was ready to make a giant leap of faith with this woman, and now I'm completely alone for the first time in years. I think back to what she said about being afraid to leave me with trauma. From the start, this breakup has been especially brutal on my psyche, and ever since, it's only gotten worse. Through finding out that she was reaching to my friends on Instagram to get with them, to finding out that right after the breakup she spent significant time with the person who got feelings for her while we were dating. My family has since told me that they were worried about me for a while, that when her and I were together, they noticed patterns of her controlling me, for being angry with me over small ordeals, to actively rooting against me during friendly competitions like playing board games. They said they had been wanting to talk to me about her for a while, because of the way she treated me when we were together. She took the pets without a second guess as to what was best for them. She turned the breakup from one of self-growth, to a finger-pointing exercise in all the ways I failed as a partner. I've talked to a few people since, and recognize the role that I'm in currently is the same as the one she was in when we met. I'm just here, talking about all the ways my ex has fucked me up, and apologizing to the other person for having to deal with it. I can't trust. I can't exude any confidence. All I feel is the emptiness of the last 5 years of my life being wasted on somebody who cared about me once, but stopped caring about me long ago. I wanted to write this because all the therapists I've reached out to have me on a waiting list. I feel so incredibly alone. Today I had a panic attack in the corner of Trader Joe's because I'm both so angry and so hurt. I can't sleep because my dreams are all filled with her and the guys she's been with so quickly after the relationship ended. I'm scared to go out into town because I'll run into one of my old friends that she went on a date with. She never technically cheated on me, but knowing that all of this has happened so quickly after the breakup makes me feel like she emotionally cheated on me months ago. I'm embarrassed that I spent so much time with somebody who offered nothing to the relationship and was so mean to me for so long. I feel betrayed for both the fact that I trusted her unconditionally, but should have been more vocal about those huge red flags she presented. I hate that she took 1/5 of my life just to leave me with nothing but an empty bank account and months of issues that I will now have to work through. I hate the fact that she has walked out of this unscathed, and completely unbothered by the breakup. From what I have seen and have been told, she has been nothing but happy and outgoing since the split, which is even more bothersome because all I ever tried to do was offer the freedom and support to make her happy when we were together. I'm not sure what I did wrong, I'm not sure what I did that was so incredibly deceitful that she decided to cause so much pain to me personally. She could have ended the relationship and walked away without causing any additional drama, but she didn't. She immediately pursued other guys, which has only twisted the knife that was already painful enough. I hate being on a sad soapbox like this. I hate being the sad person people see when I tell them the things going on in my life. I miss having animals to love and to hold when things get rough. I don't like telling my sob story, but I just needed an outlet to say that I'm not doing okay. At all. I'm incredibly angry and sad. I've cut every single tie with her in hopes of a clean break, but there are all these small cracks where I hear some whisper about her and it only hurts more and makes me restart the healing process from square one. I hate her, truly, and will never forgive her for taking away the pets that meant the world to me, and for hurting me in ways she really didn't need to in order to close this chapter of ours. So yeah. I'm just struggling. Really struggling. And feel so terribly alone.